Hey everybody, I'm Becky Adams. Thank you for stopping by my YouTube channel today. Today I have a really fun project for the Hip Kit Club Design team using the January 2021 kits. So I did a couple of things off camera to get started. I did some fussy cutting and some stitching, neither of which are very fun to watch on camera. So I'll just quickly tell you what I did. So I used this floral paper as my background. I did gut it so that I can use that other piece on, or use that piece of pattern paper on another project. The second thing I did was I did a decorative stitch using my sewing machine. Most sewing machines have a few decorative stitches. This one on mine is just like a vine with leaves on it. And so I stitched that on purple cardstock that came in the cardstock kit, and then I fussy cut around the edges of it to make this fun border. Then I added another layer of pink, this light pink cardstock, and then to finish it off, I put on another piece of white cardstock and stitched around the edge of that. So it looks like there are a lot of layers, but I really kept things basic on the back side so that I could use these papers on other projects. The other thing that I did was I made a pocket for my journaling out of my photo. This is a photo of my office. I wish it was that clean right now, but it is not. I don't know about you, but my space definitely spends more time as a mess than it does clean, for sure. But this is on one day when we had it all cleaned up. This is my desk, my daughter's, and this is where we spend most of our days. So I just stitched around 3 of those sides with sewing machine and white thread to create a pocket for my journaling. My journaling is just printed using the American typewriter font, and I printed it on this pink cardstock. That's what I did with that sheet that I just used this thin border so that I could use the center for something else. And on this one, it happened to be the journaling. So I just printed my journaling on this cardstock. I used my tag punch board from We Are Memory Keepers to create the tag shape. I punched a hole reinforcer with my punch, another We Are Memory Keepers product, and then tied the top with some white crochet thread. And it just fits perfectly down in that pocket. Okay, so to dive in to get the rest of this project finished up, there were a couple of requirements for this assignment. One, I had to use to include stitching, and the other thing was to use a Crafty cut file. There are a couple of really cute cut files to go along with the January kits, and this scissors with this beautiful floral piece in the center is the one that I chose to work with today. So I used some gray cardstock from my stash to cut out these big scissors. And I'm thinking that I'm going to tuck my photo in something like that. I think these scissors are going to hang off the edge just a little bit. There we go. And then I'm going to place my title right over here. And since it is almost Valentine's Day, the other requirement for this project was to talk about something you love. So the title for the layout is Love My Crafty Space. So this is what I'm thinking, and this gets the basics done on this layout. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to start by adhering my photo. And I'm just going to add some adhesive in the middle here. I'm going to just take these threads and pull them down, stick them in the adhesive. Get my T-square ruler, scoot that over as far as I can so there's room for my scissors here. I have my scissors placed exactly where I want them. And I don't want them to shift at all, so I'm just going to take liquid glue and adhere it to, oh my goodness, words are hard today. We're going to stick it in place without pulling the entire thing up so that doesn't shift around. So I'm just putting a little bit of liquid adhesive. I don't like to adhere things to my photos, so I'm just being careful. I didn't adhere that right to my photo. Gonna put a little bit just right there. Let that dry for just a second while I set my adhesive aside. Set that aside for a minute. Then we're just gonna flip this over and trim off the excess of that cut file. Okay, there we go. Now the next thing I want in place is my title. Now that I have my photo, my title, and my journaling, it's time to add a few more embellishments. And to bring in a little more of this blue color, I'm going to use this photo corner punch from We Are Memory Keepers. So what you get is that, and you just take these flaps and fold them behind, just like that. And I'm gonna tuck that just barely under the photo so that it doesn't interfere with the tag. And now that I have that in place, I'm just going to glue that down with some liquid adhesive. And then I'm going to do the same thing, but with pink down here at the bottom. And I'm just using the scraps that I had. So this is a great way to add some color, just to use scraps and punches and tuck. But actually, now that I have that done, I don't like how it looks with two different colors. So I'm going to go back and do another one out of this matching pattern paper. Let me know in the comments section, did you like how the pink looked? It's definitely a personal preference, but yes, I do like that much better. It looks, to me, it looks much more cohesive. We'll just take a little bit of that liquid adhesive and hold that in place. I'm using art glitter glue is the adhesive that I prefer, but obviously any liquid adhesive would work. Okay, so I cut one more flower, and I was thinking maybe it would go there. And what I will need to do, since I should have put that flower there beforehand, but since I didn't, we're just going to make it work. I'm going to pretend that this pattern paper is the photo. And I'm just going to cut that little section out. And it will look like we tucked it behind. I'm just going to pull that up just a little bit. And I'm going to pull these letter stickers up for just a minute and put them back on top of that cut file. So this, you just make it work. If you have something that doesn't turn out exactly like you wanted it to, there's always a way to make it work. We'll add these letter stickers. It looks like we need to adhere this right along the top as well. Then I have just a couple more things that I want to add before I'm going to call this one complete. So I have this little chipboard piece that just says making art. And I thought that was perfect for a layout about my craft space. Put that right there at the bottom of the photo. And then I have several flowers. I just went through all of the die cuts and pulled out anything that matched my color scheme. At this point, I don't want to add anything new, any new colors, which this one, if I left that green showing, it would be introducing a new color. So I will probably just trim, in fact, I think I'll trim that off. I'm going to use a pop dot over here on this edge. And just adhere that right there, kind of like that, whoops, flowers just coming out of the letter stickers right there. We'll adhere half to the background with liquid glue and the other half with a pop dot. Okay, then I have a few more flowers. Just going to place those. Actually, yep, that one works there. Just watching to see where I need pops of color. Like I need a little bit of purple up in this area, so we'll put that right there. Down in this space, we need more of these warm colors, the pink and red. We'll put that one right there. I'm going to do the same thing. Part of that flower I'm going to tuck under that cut file. Then the other half I'll just adhere with a pop dot. I'm going to pop this little guy up with a pop dot. There's one more flower down here. I'll set that aside for just a second. That'll be the very last touch. I've got these other ones placed. This one will do the same. Just add that pop dot, but keep it tucked under. Oops. Under that cut file. Okay, that one. We'll tuck under the photo. pop dot up here. Same thing. By tucking these flowers underneath things, having some underneath, some on top, it just adds a little bit more interest to your project. Do pop dot on that purple one. Make sure my tag, yep, my tag can still go in and out like it needs to. And then we have just one more purple flower. I think I'm going to add that one to that cluster right there, just underneath. Okay, and with that, I'm going to call this one finished. So thank you so much for stopping by. I appreciate you being here and watching my videos, and I appreciate all of your sweet comments. So thank you so much for stopping by. Make sure and hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so that you will be notified of any of my upcoming videos. I post a new video every Sunday, as well as 1 or 2 videos throughout the week. Thank you again for stopping by, and I'll see you again soon.